Hey, sis. Welcome to Now Woman Rising, the podcast for purpose-driven, faith-filled, family-shifting, legacy-making women who is done playing small. I'm Alicia Hurt, servant leader, wife, mama, and your holistic wellness home girl. Here to walk with you as you rise, heal, break cycles, and shine unapologetically in your God-given purpose. Whether you're trailblazing in your business, praying over your babies, or just trying to drink your water and mind your business, we see you, sis. Here's the truth. You are not alone. This space is sacred and safe. So grab your tea, light your candle, and let's get into this soul talk. Let's rise, let's glow, let's go. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Now Women Rising. I have Lady V here with me, y'all. How you doing, Miss Lady V?
I am blessed, darling. How are you?
I'm good. So listen, let's jump right in. Is that okay?
Hey, let's do this thing. I'm excited.
Okay, Lady V, so tell us all about you. Like, how did you get to the journey of being a Now Woman Rising?
Man, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm gonna give you the short version. You can find all the rest of it in all the other little good details in my book.
Okay.
But that I am redoing. But I am Lady V. I am a spiritual release coach, meaning that I teach individuals how to roar, the roar method, how to roar in their greatness. And so at the age of 8, I was being molested by the monsters in my home. And so I come from an abusive background. By the age of 10, I was running away. I've been really taking care of myself since then. By the age of 15, I was a madam. By the age of 21, I was just really a high price cowgirl. And I just was out here in the streets, just living my life, trying to find my way, stuck in my trauma, not understanding nobody to save me, looking for somebody to save me in all the wrong places. And I couldn't. I had to realize that the only person that could save me was God. And the only person that could save me was myself. And I had to be willing to do that. I had to be ready to do that. And then I call myself gonna go on this good and straight and narrow path, and I just ended up just dating men who were just on an abusive roller coaster themselves. And so I realized that they wasn't helping me, they were really hurting me. But I was hurting myself because I didn't know how to love me. I didn't know that I was worthy. I didn't know that I was more than enough because I was told that I wasn't. I was told that I would never amount to anything. I was told that nobody would ever love me. I was told that I wasn't wifey material. I was told all of these things. And so when you're told all these things your whole entire life, you start to believe that you're everything that man say you are. And so I had to realize that I wasn't who man said I was. I was who God chose me to be.
Mm.
And so once I started to wake up and started to understand what real love was, but I didn't get it until I started my spiritual journey. I didn't get it until I decided to surrender and give my whole entire self to God and just say, you know what, Lord, I surrender. Take me, look, because I was just, I couldn't do it anymore. And that's when you know you're tired. You know, my grandmother always told me, you ain't, you talk about you being tired. But until you get really tired, that's when you really start to put in the work and do something about it. Until then, you ain't doing nothing but complaining and japping your jaws, and ain't nobody listening.
Amen.
And the people that's listening, them ain't the people that you want to listen, because them is the ones that's praying for your downfall.
So
And
true.
so, and I just had to understand that. And I just was like, you know what, Lord, save me from myself. Save me from myself. And I started on this journey and I started to awaken the rebel that was inside of who I am, of Tivona, of Lady V. I started to rise to my greater self. And so I had to learn. He took me on this journey, but how do you teach the roar method if you ain't never lived the roar method, right? And so that's where I am right now, is I've lived that journey. So I teach that journey now. I teach individuals how to release the old narratives and the old baggage, how to overcome the obstacles that's standing in their way, how to awaken the rebel that's within inside of us, and then how to rise to the occasion and just be the boss that we were chosen to be. Just be the person, just living authentically without all the masks, because I had on a bunch of masks and I had to start taking them off. I had to start peeling off those layers and those shedding that skin that was weighing me down. And so I started to decide, and at first I was afraid, y'all, I was, but I had to say, you know what? It's time for me to shatter the silence. See, we break a lot of things. You know, they say break the chains, and we break them and break them, but guess what? We break them and then we put them back on. We break it and then we pick it back up and put it back together. And no, it's not as pretty as it used to be, but it's still doable. It's still work.
Right.
And so we feel like if it's still working, then it's all right. And in reality, it's not all right. And so I knew that it was time for me to shatter the silence, meaning that, because once you shatter something, it ain't never coming back. It is broke, it's gone. It's all you could do is throw it in trash. You cannot do anything other than just start over, because that's never coming back. And so that's what I had to do. I had to start shattering the silence of molestation, shattering the silence of abuse, shattering the silence of brokenness and living in your trauma. I had to start shattering that silence because so many of us live in it, and it's time for us to get out of it. And so that's really who I am in a nutshell.
Amen.
Um, you know,
I'm so happy that you shared that, because a lot of people, like out the gate, Lady V is like, this is what I went through, and this is the reason why I'm here to tell you I am a bomb spiritual release coach. And I really appreciate that, because we need to hear it. A lot of times we hide our stories because we're ashamed. We think we're going to be judged. But at the end of the day, you said, no, I turn my pain into purpose. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
I had
describe
to
a
turn the
season
power.
where God's wait felt like a no. And what did you learn in that in-between phase?
I had to realize that even though he was saying no, he really wasn't saying no, he was saying not yet. Because a lot of times we microwave people. That's what I like to call us. We need it right now in 30 seconds or less, baby. We need it hot, warm, and ready to go. But in reality, that ain't how life works. And that's how we get into a lot of stuff that we should not get ourselves into. We find ourselves in trouble because we're microwave people. We don't want to wait. But I realized that in waiting, it made me appreciate my journey. It made me really start to actually fall in love with myself. It made me understand that when God blesses me with these things, I am now ready to accept, receive, and take care of the blessings that He's given to me. Because a lot of times we get premature blessings, and what we do, we out there living our best life with everybody else. We popping bottles and feeling our, just feeling ourselves. And in reality, when it's all gone, so are they. And so I no longer wanted to be there. I no longer wanted to live in that realm. I knew that God, okay, you said no. You said wait. Let me wait. Let me be patient. Something that I was never was patient. I wasn't standing in that line when they was handing out patience. I was over there getting my groove on. And so now I'm grateful because it allows me to appreciate life. It allows me to smell the roses when a lot of times we don't have time. But it allows me to step back and say, okay, God, let me wait on you. Let me trust in you. Let me know that this walk, that I'm walking with you hand in hand, and that I make bad decisions when I'm doing it alone. So please tell me no. I'll wait on you. And that's what it really just taught me in this season.
How do you balance being a powerhouse for others while you still are?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, for me, this is how I do that. I I help people from my overflow. I don't help them from my cup. So when they keep it pushing, I do too. When I get through pouring into them, I don't take their problems and make their problems my problems. Because a lot of time we forget that there's transferring of energies. And a lot of times we'll take that person's problem, we'll dive in it, and then next thing you know, we done made that our problem, and now we got their problem, and we carrying it for the remainder of the day, the next 2, 3, 4 days, whatever. And in reality, that is not our problem. So I had to learn how to separate myself from my business. So when I'm in my business, I'm in my business. When I'm in my ministry, I'm in my ministry. But when it's my me time, don't call me time because it's my me time. And that is my time that I take very personal. Sometimes I got to pick up the phone and say, hey, is this phone working? Because people now have respected my time when it's time for me. And you have to demand your time for you. Because at the end of the day, we continue to pour out and pour out and pour out into people. And then next thing you know, we done pour from our cup and now we empty and drain. And it takes a long time to refill your cup. And if you pour it into them, they ain't supposed to pour into you because they need what you done poured into them. So I had to learn to pour from my overflow. And once my overflow is over, well, what they say is uncut off. Your water is cut off. Because now I got to save this and preserve it for me. Every single day I wanted to quit. Every day I just was like, it's not worth it. And God say, wait, hold on, it is worth it. I need you for this assignment. And so once I started to do and work and do what God was calling me to do in his way, then I started appreciating it and loving the journey. So it was like, okay, I can do this. I got this. And so every day I'm excited about getting up and working and living in my purpose. I'm excited about being in my walk. But baby, before then, let me tell you, I tell people all the time, I was chosen for this walk. Cause all I wanted to do was write my little books, tell my little stories, and mind my business. That's all I wanted to do. That's it. That's all. I ain't want to do all this extra stuff.
I feel I was the same. Then he was like, but there's more. So, how has your definition of success changed as you grown in faith and in purpose?
Oh my goodness. Ooh, now that's a good one. For me, success is nothing without my father. I I embrace it a lot more. because now I actually see the vision. Whereas I had the vision, but I didn't believe in the journey of the walk of the vision. But I'm grateful that I didn't give up, because a lot of times we forget that when we give up, we have to start over. And so
Yep.
I'm grateful that I did not give up. And for me, that's success, because so many days and so many nights we cry ourselves to sleep. So many days and so many nights we just want to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done. This ain't working for me. This people ain't listening. People ain't supporting. People ain't this ain't working out. This ain't going the way I want it to go. But I'm glad that I didn't give up. I'm grateful.
Amen. So if you had a conversation with younger self right now, what would you tell her about the woman that you're becoming?
Mm-mm. The only thing that I would say to her is continue to be authentic and don't let people shut you up, and that you are worth it and that you are more than enough.
Amen. Amen. And what would you say to this listener that they may be going through, they hesitant, what would you say to take action?
First of all, make yourself a priority. That's what I'm going to tell people. Make yourself a priority, because we're always so busy taking care of the spouse, taking care of the kids, taking care of our families, and this and that, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And then we forget about the main person, us. You have a goal, you have a dream. Make yourself a priority the way you make everybody else a priority as well. Because God tells us in these basic instructions that we can live life abundantly right here on this earth. Yes, you have many mansions, but you got a mansion right here too. And that's your business, that's your purpose. So live it and make yourself a priority. This is your season. And can't nobody start it but you. Can't nobody make you a priority but you. So make yourself a priority and know that this is your time to do to live in your purpose and to do what you have been chosen and called to do.
What does being a now woman mean to you in this season of your life?
A now woman means being authentically me. No longer wearing the mask, no longer trying to be something or pretend that I'm something that I'm not. No more people pleasing, no more enabling others, no more being I'm still a flawed person. But the things that was holding me back and holding me down, no more. Now it's time for me to be authentically me and love me the way I am, just genuinely and wholeheartedly, and know that I am everything that God said I was going to be. That's for me as a now woman, because I wasn't nothing about a now woman at all. I couldn't tell you 2 years, 3 years ago, I don't think I could have told you. But now I know that this is my purpose.
And tell me, can you share when you had to obey God, but that it didn't make sense, but it changed everything in your life?
becoming a becoming a life coach. I didn't want to become a life coach. I didn't want to. I don't like people enough to be caring about their business and their problems and they this and they that enough. I just was like, Lord, why me? Like I had to ask him, why me? And he said, because you'll understand and people will understand. People will be able to relate. And now it's time for you to share your journey. And I was like, okay. I was afraid though. I was afraid. But I pushed on through, and now I'm listening to people's problems and, helping them in their transformations. And I must say that it's actually been a beautiful thing, because it's good to see when people are starting to live in their purpose and know that they are worthy and they're more than enough. It's beautiful, although I didn't understand why he chose me. Cause I was like, Lord, my mouth too slick, and it's some things that I can't stand. You sure you want me? He said, yes, you the one. I'm calling on you. And so I'm doing it, and doing it gracefully and diligently. Put it like that.
So what legacy are you intentionally building for your family and future generations?
Well, my legacy right now is publishing, and I want to leave them to know that, because I don't have any children per se, but I got 156 and they're growing. Put it like that. And so I want them to know that if I can do it, if she can do it, I can do it too. She's building this business, and we see the heartache and the hurt and the tears that she put in behind it. And so we're going to keep the legacy going. We're going to break these generational curses of saying that we can't and that we ain't and that we're not enough, to knowing that we are, and that we can build generational wealth, putting becoming buying land and being, putting them in trust and things like that, to make sure that we are secured. And and so I want to make sure that we're doing that and buying compounds and things like that for my family. I want to make sure that we have those in place, so tomorrow our children aren't trying to figure out their next step, their next move. They know that they always have something to fall back on, and they can leave it to their children and their children's children.
Amen. Amen. So for folks that are out there like, ooh, I need to talk to Lady V, like what else does she do? Please enlighten us on your products, services, and then how they can get in touch with you.
So I am an author consultant as well. I wear a lot of hats, y'all. But author consultant and life coaching is my main two things that I do. And so if you are looking to tell your story, because we are a creative storytelling and transformational firm, meaning that you can tell your story and transform your life in one area. You don't have to go to this and that, this and that. We a one-stop shop. We almost better than Walmart. I'm gonna put it like that. We like the superstar, okay? And so you can contact me at www.linktree Lady VENP. That's Elliott Knight Professionals. And all of everything that you need, from the books, from the being able to book your free consultation with me as well. I am getting ready to open up my calendar, so I am taking 25 new clients. And so that's it, and then I'm gonna shut it, because this walk, when you go on your spiritual journey, it ain't the easiest journey. I want y'all to know that, okay? And so um it's a lot that goes into this. And so, yeah, so that's how you can find me. Please make sure that you let me know exactly how I can assist you, whether it's on the books, whether it's life coaching, or maybe it's both. Maybe you want to do both, and you are allowed to do both as well, because that's what we're here for. Is to tell your story and break just shatter the silence that you're holding on to, so that you can roar in your greatness. And so, y'all check me out.
Amen. So last but not least, I always ask this Because it's always someone that is like right there at the edge. So either they gonna jump or they gonna retreat. And it could be a good thing about jumping or a bad thing, right? Give them some
Exactly.
wisdom. If they don't hear nothing else that you said today, give them some wisdom, Lady V, to close us out.
I just want to say this because it's sitting in my spirit. Unless you jumping in the right direction, retreat. Retreat because at the end of the day, you don't want to do something that you're going to regret later. And you don't want to make a bad decision out of emotion because emotions can make us do stupid things. But when you have a clear thought and a clear head and a clear mind, then if you're jumping in the right direction, because sometimes we have to step on our fears and step out on our faith. Okay? So sometimes we need to jump because and do it scared. Because that's when our purpose and our lives will begin. If we just do it scared, do it anyway, and don't allow life to hold you back from your purpose. Don't allow fear to hold you back from your purpose, because that's all the enemy wants you to do, because he knows that there's something greater for you. So if you're jumping into your purpose, I say leap, and don't be afraid to leap. And if you're afraid to leap, call Lady V, baby. I ain't afraid to leap, baby. I will hold your hand and we can leap together, okay? But go ahead and take that first step. You won't regret it at all. But if that is not where you headed, retreat, abort mission, quick and fast, and then still call Lady V, okay? And I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna hold your hand, baby, and we're gonna get you to a point where you can leap into your purpose. So either way, call Lady V. I'm gonna get you there, okay? That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, thank you so much, Lady V. And I thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Now Woman Rising. Take care, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Woo! Yes, Lord. That was so good. Sis, if nobody told you today, let me be the first. You are chosen. You are covered. And you are called for such a time as this. Keep standing tall, walking bold, and staying surrendered. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with your sister circle, and leave a review so we can keep spreading the word for this kingdom vibe. Until next time, this is Alicia Hurt reminding you, you are not alone, and you were never meant to be. Now, woman, rise up and let's go.